Hey, Thomas here. I apologize. It's been quite a while since I've actually ran the sawmill and made a video running the sawmill. It's been probably like 3 weeks since I've actually ran the sawmill to cut anything, maybe even longer. But we've had a lot of weird stuff happening here in the area. We've got, of course, we had freezing cold temperatures, we had snow, we had warm temperatures, and we had rain, with the ground thawing out, all sorts of things. Plus, work's been super busy with all sorts of stuff going on there. But today we have a very cool informational video, and this maybe will help out some folks. So the customer came to me with this log here, and as you can see, this log here is not really the best type of log. You can see there's a large branch section right here. There's lots of pitch. There's a whole lot of knots and stuff. All in all, not the best quality log, but the customer is looking for a certain, cut list out of said log. I think they want, I gotta look back, but 1.5 inch by 12 by whatever length this is. And that's what they're looking for, a number of essentially 2 by 12s, if you will. First things first, I always like to cut away the bad side. Now, when I'm considering the bad side, now the other side's got lots of limbs and everything, or branches that came off, but this right here has an inclusion. I mean, you've got this branch section. You can see there's actually separation between the two, visible gap here and everything, lots of pitch between. There's gonna be a lot of unusable wood in this vicinity right here. It goes up to another weird inclusion section where it kind of like looks like it grew back into the tree and tried to form off of there. You can see there's lots of sap crystals and everything all over this thing, and it's just gnarly. But we're trying to maximize what we can get. If I was to cut this, and the orientation is right now, just plain cut this through right here, you would have some type of inclusion into the wood, fall in this direction right here, and those boards would be unusable. The best thing we can do is to actually cut this section off. But we have to be careful because they have a certain number of boards that they're trying to get at this. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this log where this piece right here is up on top here. So this will be on top. On the other side, and we'll come to the other side later whenever we flip this log over, there are also lots of limbs. There's probably 6 or 7 limbs on the other side that protrude out, not 180 degrees out from here, but something close to that, maybe 160 degrees out. But again, my limiting factor is going to be this limb. I have to remove this section right here so I know what usable wood I can possibly get out of this log. So let's go ahead and make our first cut and everything. And I'm not going to bore you with all these slow cuts. So between each cut, what I'll do is I'll do like maybe a time lapse or something like that. But we're going to go step by step on how to get the most we can out of this board, or this log here, most boards out of it. Well, as you can see, I got my hands covered in sap. Absolutely great. We took a cut that was just under where the inclusion is. So here's the inclusion line right here. Maybe dipped into it a little bit right there. But we have a flat edge all the way from the butt of the log to the top of the log where we started. Now, without getting any more sap on my hand, which might not be possible without wearing some gloves, we get into the actual nastiness of what this log is. Yeah, so lots of sap and inclusion there, but this section right here, which is where this large inclusion is right here, looks pretty good. Yeah, you do have a branch coming through there, but it doesn't proceed further in with the sap like this. So that's our reference cut. We've got a flat edge on this side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flip it over 180, clean up the other side, see what we're left with between the two flat edges and everything, and then we'll start seeing what we possibly get out of that. Is a 12-inch denomination going to be in the current orientation high this way, or are we going to flip it on its side? So again, the goal is to get something 12 inches out of this, not sure which orientation, and get the most we can. Okay, so you can already tell right now, we've got a flat edge on the bottom, we've got more material up here, and then it dips down on that side over there. As you can see, we have a number of branches. This branch right here, again, a large main branch coming off the tree. You can see some sort of inclusions or some kind of compressing of grain. There's going to be a lot of buildup of sap and stuff there. So we want to cut deeper into this as we can. However, we're trying to maximize the most amount of width we can get. Now, I've set the blade right now, I believe at 12 inches, and I can already tell you right now, this will not be our 12-inch denomination. Up and down will not be. I will get this to the up and down direction. I'll put it on the scale and get it to some denomination of 1.5 inches. The 12 inches, I'm looking to get left to right, and I have enough material there. Things I have to look for though, again, have this large knot here, and this trifecta of knots right here. Down there at the bottom, not so worried about that, but this section right here, where this large main branch is coming off, we also have something on the other side. I really want to get rid of this. This is bad. This is where we're gonna have more of those large inclusions into the wood, a line of sap, and if this is going to be used for anything structural, that's where the board's going to go ahead and separate. So let's go ahead and cut down. We'll get on the 1.5-inch scale to some denomination in this direction right here, and go from there. It's a pretty girl. She's pretty special. Okay, so I've got the log turned up. We're going to go ahead and take off the worst side first. And I'm deeming the top portion here with all these branches, everything, the worst side. My blade right now is set about 15 and 5/16, I think is how high it is right there. And that gives me pretty good, purchase all the way throughout the log, where I'll remove all those branch sections. And on the bottom side, I will have some remainder on this bottom side right here, especially where this knot is, but that's fine. We're gonna come back and cut that off after we square everything up. So, very crucial, try to always take off your worst side first. Yep, so now let's go ahead and cut this off. We'll turn it over, make a cant, and figure out what we're left with. Okay, we now have a cant, and as you can see, the side I have up on the top side here, this is the worst side, but that's okay. We knew that was going to happen. We did our reference cut there, and we have her on an 1.5 inch scale, if you will. This face right here looks pretty good. I only see a few little knots here and there, a little wane on the end of the board down there, or the cant, excuse me, not a whole lot. But that wane on the end down there, we're going to take that off when we make this top cut here to remove stuff like this. You never want to see inclusions like this in your lumber that's going to be for structural type applications. This right here is a definite weak point. If I made this into a 1x or even a 2x board here, this right here would be the weak point along with this section right here, because there's nothing really here. There's no material here other than this pitch and sap and nasty stuff there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and cut that top section off there, that board there, remove as much of that unusable wood as possible where that pitch, that sap resin is, and we'll see what we can get. So let's show you what this board would do. I think it's going to do what I think it's going to do, if that makes any sense. All right, I'm going to put the tripod right here. We know that there's the weak spot right here. I'm going to lift up on the bottom side of the board, and we're going to see if in fact it does what I think it's going to do. Oh, there's sap everywhere. Awesome. Okay. See that right there? See where the bending moment is? And if you keep on doing that, at some point, that board would break. So there. We've removed that section right there. And what remains is not that bad. Now we do have still a rather large inclusion there.
I can see that, Dad. I can see you doing that.
Katie's on the tractor. Just watch everything. We do have this rather large inclusion here. However, even if we cut this next one, this board still may be usable. And we have a we have a littler inclusion right here where a branch is coming out. But again, we knew that was already going to be our bad side, as we talked about in the beginning of the video. And we've removed most of the bad. If you look at the percentage of wood that's still up here now, I still don't know if I trust the same board here, so we're going to take one more cut off of this side, but after that I think we'll be good. All right, so let me go ahead and throw in a real time lapse now. We'll go ahead and finish this up, and we'll take a look at what we were able to salvage out of this gnarly log here. Okay, so that wasn't too bad there. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what these boards look like. This is the one that's kind of questionable. But to tell you the truth, based on the orientation of this, it's pretty well included in there. I've got good wood around it. This one's not too bad. Same kind of thing on this one. But again, sometimes you're not working with the best log to begin with. But these aren't too shabby. From what it was to what it is now, I'm okay with it. A little bit of an inclusion up here, but it's, again, we've got good wood around it. And then let's see if I can get this up there. Come on, baby. There we go. All right, so that'll work. I think the customer will be happy. What he's using these for, he's going to be using these for I think like a loft in a barn or something like that, or his garage. Nothing that's going to carry too much load. He's just going to put some boxes up there But yeah, we have a number of usable boards here. Sorry about the noise. I think that'll work. The fact that they are 12 inches wide leaves a lot of wood to work with. This is white pine. White pine's okay. I think red pine actually is gradable and white pine maybe not so much. But I do like cutting white pine. It cuts pretty well. It reminds me of some of the like the loblolly type of pine down south, because you have these larger grain, or it's a faster growing, if you will, pine. So, all right, I've got an upcoming video coming out here soon that's going to be kind of my take on the best sawmills at each level. So kind of like an entry level, a hobbyist level, a light production, a heavy production, or I guess a production and then like a heavy production. So we're going to kind of talk about what those different sawmills are and kind of my assessment. And I think you'll be surprised because it's a differing group of sawmills. It's not all one brand or anything. It's literally, there's 4 or 5 different brands that I consider are good sawmills. And we're going to go through step by step on which those are. So stay tuned. Hopefully I'll get that video out in the next week or so after this video. And again, hopefully you found something in this video interesting. Hopefully you liked it. If you're a first-time sawyer, there's a lot of things you can learn. I've been cutting for quite a while and everything, and I didn't know a lot of things when I first started. Kind of learned by, trial and error, and certain things that I've used over the time. This is not the end-all, be-all way to do it. This is just one way that I do it, and hopefully it helps some of y'all out there. All right, please like, subscribe. We'll see you around. Thanks.